Hello, this is Vulturefire, and this is a video on 6125. So we got a few new cards in 6124, but I only recorded like one video on it because this is basically a hotfix patch. So two of the new cards are these two Pocket Blade and Pocket Shield. So they both have the same mechanic, which is that you draw the card when you reach 0 mana. Now, they are affected by fatigue, which means there's a very low upper limit on how often you can usefully draw these in a turn before you start hitting problems, but they're also just both very interesting. And likewise, Shatter is now drawn for free whenever you freeze an enemy, which means that this one is limited, of course, by how many enemies there are, because you cannot, if an enemy is frozen, you have to use a Shattering Strike to remove the frozen before you'd be able to freeze again and redraw your Shatter. But the advantage is that this is free, unlike the other thing, which means that it will ignore fatigue. Another thing we got is, so Brittle Shield is now generic. That's this card. And that used to be an Inna common. And now instead, Inna has Sharpening Strike, which is 1 mana strike, deal 3 damage to the first enemy, increase the damage of all other strikes in your hand by 2. And then, so Inna kind of has this, go origin. Inna now has kind of a more strike. Inna's common strikes are now slightly more aggressive. We have Impro Strike, which is now discard a tool. And if you do deal, it used to be if the last card played was a tool, then it deals 4x2 damage to the first enemy and gives it weak 1 and frail 1. And Unarmed Combo used to be 4 damage for each condition. Now it is 3x2 for each condition. So one of the advantages with this is that because Sharpening Strike increases the damage of all of those strikes in your hand by 2, and that applies to each hit, that means that if you play a Sharpening Strike while you have an Unarmed Combo in hand, that will then do 5x2 damage for each condition you meet, which is obviously a pretty substantial amount of damage and a substantial number of hits, etc. Good times. And it goes up to 3x3 hits if you upgrade it, which is just kind of crazy. Sharpening Strike goes up to upgrading other strikes in your hand by 3 once it's upgraded. Let me see, what else changed? Lots of things changed. One of my things that I'm trying to figure out here is like what deck I want to build, because there are so many fun options. So, I'm trying to think, did any Paladin cards change? I don't think so. I don't think any Salon cards changed. So, I'm kind of tempted. So, I've got my Inna Strike deck that I've been fiddling with. I kind of want to try Shatter, but we can't easily force that into a deck. I kind of want to try the turret list. So the turrets changed, so that now instead of gaining powerful, their attack damage, just their base damage goes up, which means that they will now work well with Shocked, which is relevant because Paladin does shock. But I don't think that's what I want to do. I think I'm going to try and tinker with this in a deck and then play it. So I was trying to do Unarmed Combo and Impro Strike, and I don't think those quite work here, because you end up needing to put in a bunch of work to make Unarmed Combo pay off, which I don't really have the stuff to do right now. I'm going to cut. I think I'm okay with keeping Impro Strike. I definitely want another follow-up strike, though, because this is pretty great. We have the 2 Sharpening Strikes, which, again, go very well with the follow-up strike. We have a Burst of Strength, which is gain powerful 2 this turn. I think the Hobble we don't need, probably. I kind of want just another Rallying Strike, but I'm not totally certain on that. Also could see just taking a Hone. So the reason that I've got these depth focuses here is because the idea is by hitting 0 mana, I can forcibly draw a Pocket Shield, which will turn on the depth focus. So that's that nonsense. I don't think that's actually worth it. It's cute and funny, but I don't think it's actually good. So I think we're not going to do that. I think we want a focus. We may just want 2 focuses, but this is going to be a very low mana deck because the goal here is that we're just playing close to the ground and doing a bunch of damage. So the advantage of taking the Rallying Strikes is they make very good upgrade targets, because once they upgrade, they draw 2 strikes. But we already have some other very good upgrade targets. I could also see taking like a Poisoned Darts, although that's pretty bad against enemies that have shield and we don't have a way to pay off the whatever. We could also just take like a Combat Ready, which gives us a little bit of tough, and then the mighty and adept. The mighty does good work for us. I have to take another focus. We'll see how that goes. This could be a complete train wreck. Trying to think what other strikes are free. We're not playing around with stuff that will let us use Hidden Blade. We could use Strenuous Strike, but I don't think that's quite where I'm at with this. So, because our goal is to get a bunch of hits out for the Sharpening Strike and the Frost Strike. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there are any cards in this deck that I just want to make go away. Mystical Bloom is fine. I mean, Mystical Bloom is probably a little underwhelming. The Final Strike is a little expensive for where the deck is at. Likewise, I don't think we can afford the Arcane Silence. I would rather have, I think, the Aether Storm, because upgraded only costs 3 mana, and it just does a bunch of hits. I also kind of want the Demonic Power. Final Strike is also a little expensive, which can be a problem. It's probably why we have, although I think I would rather have something else other than the Death or Glory. Like, the Death or Glory isn't usually a problem, but it isn't amazing for us. I think I'll try the Demonic Power because stacking Powerful is useful to us. Trying if there are any other cards that I put in here that I regretted. I don't know that I'm a fan of the Last Resort. It doesn't play well with like the Pocket Blades and whatever. May take a Precarious Draught. Pact of Insight is fine, but it can be awkward to play. Sharpened Senses might also be reasonable. I have a couple things that we probably don't need. We have, okay, so Exsanguinate changed. I need to update my list that I've got of cards that have been underwhelming to reflect that. I don't think we want Spirit Swarm. I don't think we want the Adaptative Spell. We may want a Blessed Strike, but that seems a little sketchy. Just trying to think through what else we might want. Oh, do I have Follow-Up Strike in here? I would absolutely take my Follow-Up Strikes, I think. Is that all? Oh yeah, that's 30. We're good. We're just gonna go. We're gonna see what happens. It could all go poorly. Take a free reroll. Take free Predator. More recoverable health. Let's see what happens. So I've done one run with this, with the first version of this deck, but on the last patch, Sharpening Strike was bugged, so it stabbed you instead of the front enemy, which was funny, but not very good. All right, so these weathers are so-so for us. Scorching Winds is the one we really want, but there are so many Ramparts cards that we want, although this is not the boss we would like to be fighting. But this is a video that I'm recording on patch, on a Battered Ramparts run, which means that it is fated that our boss will be bent to hell. Okay, so trying to find Gargoyles are very good for us. This is pretty good for us. And then neither of those do a ton. This is fine because it's 4x3. This is fine, but it's kind of expensive. This one's very good. But then, let's see. We don't really want any of either of those. We don't super care about either of those. This is okay. See, did words get... Oh, it looks like that bug report was deleted. Let me report that again. All right. Yeah, we'd really like an Enraged Persistence, and Defective Strike isn't bad. So I think that's where we go. So this is a new pod that has the War Leader plus this. This is also very good for us, which is why I would consider going there. I don't really care about this. I don't care a ton about that because we're unlikely to be able to use it. But this gets us 2 shots at these, and both of these are good. I think we're going to go this way. This has been me dithering for forever about what cards I want. And we're going to draw first. Okay. So, see what we get. So we need to keep that. We can pitch one of these. All right, so step 1, we want Frost Rune. Step 2, we want Sharpening Strike. We have to do that, but it's going to be fine because we're going to get plenty of damage out. Let's see, Undying Persistence is very good. Do we have other skills yet? We do, we have the combat ready. And we may end up taking a lot of damage because like we are built as though we are a turn 1 kill deck and we are not a turn 1 kill deck. Let's see what we get out of that. Yeah, just want to go ahead and get that off. And then I'm going to do this. Oh right, we have that. So get out of this. I think we're just not playing that. Okay. We want to get this out first regardless. So the Bintas no longer always bleed you every turn, which makes them way less obnoxious to fight. But not obnoxious to fight, just less obnoxious to fight. There we go. I put Tyrannical Focus in the list, but I can't actually use it really. Because I just forgot to account for the fact that the deck doesn't really use it. So you're kind of dependent. One of the big notes here is we didn't find the thing that we want that would let us I think we're just gonna end turn, although that's gonna lead to us bleeding. I think it's worth it. I should have just frozen you out with this. Yeah, we are gonna bleed out here. But at least we can freeze. All right, let's sharpen. I may cut the Impro Strike because it's just kind of awkward when we only have the 1 tool a turn. Because it means we can't play our tools and we kind of want to be able to do that. I could reroll here for the sharpen weapons. Is that what I want to do? I don't think so. I mean, maybe. Yeah, that actually seems kind of reasonable. I do kind of want to try sharpen weapons here. Okay, so this fight can be a pain in the butt. We will see if it chooses to be a pain in the butt. I think we want to do that. Yeah, like, see, this is the exact thing I'm talking about. Where it's like we cannot use that. And it's really annoying. Right, so now we get 40 damage out of that, which is completely reasonable. That's unfortunate that we have to, oof, and I really messed up. I think we want to freeze you out. Yes, but this is kind of a strong statement that we are hoping to get this kill this turn, because this thing has a big attack that we really want to make sure it doesn't do to us. And yeah, once again, like, we don't want to use the Impro Strike, because we want to use, we want to play this. Perfect timing from the Frost Strike, as always. See what we find. Just pick one of the focuses. Probably copy a focus, although we probably don't need it actually. We do have a lot of very, very good upgrades, which is kind of a good thing and a bad thing. Pocket Blade. So I want to show off Pocket Blade, so we're going to take it. So one of the things about Pocket Blade is that we can kind of summon it at will, as long as we can get down to 0 mana, which is usually pretty easy. Okay, so we got Pocket Blade. So we have to play it, unfortunately, but I do want to start pumping it. So this is going to draw us a Pocket Blade that costs 1. It's also going to force a shuffle. I think we're okay with this turn just passing. Okay. And yeah, once again, this card, just a liability. I don't know what deck that goes in, but it's not this one. Okay. So we're going to do this, which again draws Pocket Blade. We're going to increase the damage of all our strikes. And we're not actually going to use Pocket Blade this turn. We're going to go ahead and stack a second Frozen for value. And we hit 0, so we get Pocket Blade. So, let's see. I think I kind of want the Demonic Power. We don't have any way to heal, but I think it's still useful to have. I think being able to get mana at will is useful. Pocket Blade Plus is fun. This goes up to 4 mana, which we can't afford. This goes to free, which is nice. That gives us more Frost Rune. This draws us more Stiff. I think this goes to free as well. Yeah. This gets us more buff, which is good. I think the Rattling Strike is probably where we're at. This gives us, what, one more hit? Yeah. Rattling Strike Plus is the first upgrade. The Burst of Strength is another very good upgrade we have. Impro Strike, you are a problem. So, I think we go through these two, because there's a lot of cards here that we want. And there's a lot of cards here that we want. This fight could be a major pain in the butt. We will see. This is a pretty good assortment of cards that I want to buff. And there's the Pocket Blade. Although shuffling it back into the Pocket Blade doesn't actually do that much for me. But I would say things are going pretty well. Even if we can't actually win this turn, we can put ourselves in an excellent position to win this turn. All right. I think we reroll this. I think there are a lot of very good other cards we could have. I put the unarmed combo in because I thought this was going to be an unarmed combo deck, and that's wrong. That's not really what I'm looking for. That is, though. This gives us 4 powerful, which is very nice. And we're still upgrading the Rattling Strikes, though. I really wanted the Relentless Assault. There's definitely an argument that rerolling there was too greedy. I think we copy the Focus, because I think we're going to end up needing it. And then we pitch that. Pocket Blade's back. Baby. So we have to play. So this is the awkward thing that can happen where it's like, I want to buff Pocket Blade, but if I play Pocket Blade, I have to draw it back. Or if I play this, I already have Pocket Blade in hand. So let's see what we find. Showing up late to the party as always. Pocket Blade's back. Let's do Pocket Blade hits. Yeah, we're going to have problems with bosses. This deck is not very good. But it is, I'm enjoying it. And isn't that really what counts? Answer no, not if you lose. And that draws his Pocket Blade back. But we didn't actually need it. But still, Pocket Blade. I don't like this. I was thinking I might, but the fact that it is, I just don't like it. I don't think that has enough. Because it requires us to discard as well, which is very obnoxious. I think we'll take the Hunt. I think we will. Taking less damage from attacks sounds pretty nice. Go with this event. Okay, been to hell. We have been to hell. Okay, so that's going to give us 2 strikes to buff. It's going to give us 2 more strikes to buff, which should be most of our strikes. Let's do that. Do that. That's a bit unfortunate. That's right, it's Pocket Blade time. More Ventus coming out. We may end up freezing you this turn. You're not holding Pocket Blade. But surprise, now we are. Okay. How do we kill this with the minimum of card wastage? So close. Bonk. Okay. Taking upgrading the other storm seems fine, but it isn't a strike, so we can't buff that part of it. Lightning Blade is a 0-cost strike that is very good, so we will take it, although it could potentially kill us because it does shock us. Upgrade is nice because it means it shocks us less. The Follow-up Strike Pluses are also pretty good, but I think we take Arms Race Plus. Same reason we keep taking similar things. We want to draw more strikes. Do we care about the combat ready? I would argue no. We have the Undying Persistence if we really need tough, and it is kind of expensive when we are playing this low to the ground. So of these cards, this gives us an amount of shield, which is nice, but it does cost us, gives the enemy shield 2. We cannot take that one at all. Oh, we've got to go this way. What am I saying? We need the Elemental Strike, because we missed on the other thing in A2, or sorry, in Ramparts, A1. This is good. This is okay. No, I lied. That's very bad. This means that you miss every hit you make for the rest of the turn. This is pretty useful. I'm deciding if we want to just go through this event here. I think we probably do. Start here. Okay. So we're already holding Pocket Blade. And then we can see what we find. Guess what? It's time to draw Pocket Blade. Sorry, Pocket Shiv. Whatever it's called. Battle Ready gives us Mighty. We can get critical, so we don't want that. Emergency Shield seems fine. Okay. Let's see what we find. I think we can find a smaller hit than that. Demonic Power is showing up late. Hey, you know what card we could find? That's right. Pocket Blade. Oh, it is called Pocket Blade. It was called Pocket Shiv, I want to say, in the first patch with it. I don't know why it's name changed. There we go. Yeah, against the smaller enemies, we're fine. It's bigger enemies that we are going to have problems snowballing against. I could take the second Pocket Blade. I think 2 is kind of the limit on how many you can usefully have. I do like Makeshift Strike a lot, and I kind of want to try it, but I think we need another mana card. Because I think we are at, 3 mana cards. I would take a 4th. Yeah, one of definitely the big changes this patch is that you can play a lot lower on mana cards and still get away with it. As long as you're playing a sufficiently small deck. Okay. Hey, guess who's back? It's Pocket Blade. So Pocket Blade can't draw itself, which means if I play it now, it won't come back to us. You have to play something else first. Oh, doomp, and now Pocket Blade's back. You may need to cut the Demonic Power because we keep not being able to play it. Okay, I think we're going to play this into... We should upgrade the Pocket Blade because it is the card that we can play the most often. Which means that getting an extra hit on it is very valuable. Wow, I wasn't expecting that big of a hit, but I will take it. Stinging Strike is great. Alright, we don't have a spell to upgrade, so we just get to upgrade anything, and we're going to upgrade the Pocket Blade. Unfortunately, I already spent my rerolls, which was probably a mistake, but it's fine. We can get Frost Rune and Lightning Blade. Oh, I should have done this first. I think at this point we may as well do that so we can get buffs on as many blades as possible. So now, hey, we applied a bunch of status in one turn, and we can freeze again for next turn. Didn't think it was worth using the trinkets at that point. Alright. See what we find. Answer. We find Pocket Blade. Pitch that. We should just have lethal here from the number of hits we have. Yeah. Gather Equipment's pretty good. It's not, unfortunately, no LE Strike. This is pretty useful because we can actually get mana out of that. I think we upgrade. This is a very. Oh, I didn't realize it goes up to 6 hits now. That's crazy. We'll take that. Thank you. We will cut. I don't think we need Demon Power. We're absolutely going this way. So we're just going to go through this event after we take out these two. Hey, look, we found Pocket Blade. So, trying to think. So that does 9. So I think that the shocked, I think this must be a base damage increase, which means that it plays very nicely with Shocked Rune, which was something that is not normally the case. Like, powerful buffs don't work well with Shock Rune. Do that, which is questionable, but I'm a questionable person. I make questionable choices. And then I think we set this up and we freeze you, so we're just good to go for this turn. And we hope that the weather doesn't completely mess us up. Well, that's actually totally fine. Okay, we are going to sharpen weapons. We're going to Rallying Strike, and that's going to draw us, you guessed it, Pocket Blade. Okay. We want to minimize our overkill here, so that we can do as much overkill as possible with the back one. There we go, and we still had the Frenzy turn. This one is fine. This is very good. We will take that. Oh. I should have paid more attention to check who our boss was. Oh, I should have gotten that out first. That was a mistake. I'm going to pitch that. Oh, that's not going to take us to 0 anymore. That's unfortunate. I had a whole plan that kind of hinged on... There we go. Oh, this would have given us exactly enough damage. I feel very dumb now. You're just putting up shield this turn. You're going to try and kill us, but that tough should mean that we're fine. Okay, I'm very glad the bleed didn't come out. Critical 2 and lethal 2. Get 2 shrivels. We will just play the shrivels, I think. No, we can Undying Persistence the shrivels. And we can do that. Bye. And then we will take, this is very good. Giving random enemies opportunities can be a problem, but it'll be fine. That's after we draw. All right, Shadowbone Dragon could be a pain in the butt, we'll see. We do have freezes out though, so that should help. Vulnerable is nice. Don't really want to discard any of these is the problem. These are all things that I do want to buff the damage of. That can actually go, I think. I think we want to get Powerful out. We're trying to look for Frost Strike. And we somehow haven't found it yet, which is kind of staggering. There we go. I think it is literally the last strike in the deck. And then we want to get the shock out and do a bunch of damage with the shock. Do even more damage and then stack a second Frost just to be safe. This is why like having an Ellie Strike would have been nice because it just means that if we have to draw through our entire freaking deck to find... We don't care about giving out an opportunist here because you're frozen. Oh no, you're an opportunist. What are you going to do? Nothing. We do need this. We don't have crit yet. I don't think we can afford that, really. Okay, I was being shocked, I think. So our plan here is just to do so much damage. There we go. This is not how I normally play Inna, but it's working out well, so take the gather equipment. Pass on all of that. I think we upgrade the burst of strength so that it becomes much more useful. We may cut the contemplate. Trying to see if there are any of the strikes that we don't like. I think we're good for now. We are moving on. Okay, we're fighting we're fighting Bale later. Well, that's totally fine. We're going to go up this route. We can probably take Ruinous Gamble, and I think the Sunlight should be fine. Do we want to go through all of these friggin' elites? Several of them are very annoying, but I believe in us. We can play cards and have things happen. We're probably going to have to end up freezing you. Guess what we drew? That's right. It's Pocket Blade. All right. Oh, another thing. Fatigue is a flat 5 cards again. So it's no longer the scale. Doop. Oh, I should have done this first. I'm very dumb. Missed out on a lot of damage from that. We'd love to have an arcane. Whatever. Pocket Blade's back, but we can't afford it. That's fine. That was a pretty good turn 1. And we have Frost Rune, so we should be able to dunk on this dork, especially because we have Pocket Blade. Okay. You do not have Opportunist. We can draw back Pocket Blade. I think we want to see what we can get. Sure. Oh, I should have done that first. Whatever. Gets us back Pocket Blade, which we cannot afford right now. The nice thing is, like, it doesn't matter that we shuffle back in. We shuffle back for Pocket Blade because there's always more pockets for the blades to come out of. Surprise! It's Pocket Blade. I don't think Pocket Blade is actually busted. It is just very funny. Power Surge is easier to play than Demon Infect, than Demon whatever, and it is solid. I think I take it. And Tempest Strike. No, I'll take the Power Surge. You can see though that, like, even in that fight already, we're starting to see. Oh man, I didn't even know that was an option. We're starting to see the downsides to playing this kind of deck. We're gonna cut the Predator. This kind of very aggressive deck into these depth 3 enemies where they just like have so much health that we are not able to kill them turn 1 as consistently anymore. I think we picked that. Get that. There's the pocket blade, which unfortunately we just outright drew. Which is not our preferred way of finding it. Alright, you're ambushed from the tool, which is very useful to us because it means we can do just crazy amounts of damage. Although, I think I would like the tiny book here. That's useful. Because I would like to find, yeah, this. Alright, we killed one of them. You're going to be a jerk. We can toughen up, which is going to mean that we don't explode. Not exploding is nice. You can quote me on that. You're going to be a jerk overall, though. I think that this is going to go on long enough if we want to copy the power surge instead of the burst of strength. See what we get out of this. All right. That's kind of the thing we least want to see coming out of the pocket blade. Or coming out of whatever. All right, so this is not actually going to give us a shock, but it's going to cut off one of those. The only thing here is now we have to attack into this arcane barrier. And we have nothing but multi-hits, and it is never, it never loses the arcane barrier for the rest of the fight. Which is obviously very annoying for us. Hey, we get a mana back. And yeah, we can attack again, but we just explode. And the question becomes like, do we just have to count on exploding? And the answer might be yes. The question is, do we go in on exploding right now? We do have shield right now, which makes that more tempting. But we don't have a way to freeze. I think we do not want to shock ourselves, though. And unfortunately, this also costs us our powerful as we go through it. Oh, right. We gave you opportunist. Oops. I'm very clever. I think we have to do this. Which, yes, draws us back to pocket blade. More importantly, it means that we don't explode to that. We're absolutely going to block that from happening. Yeah, we're just going to repeatedly explode, which is just going to be super annoying. Oh, and we can't ever... I should have pitched this. I forgot we're never going to be able to hunt because of other nonsense. Yeah. Yeah, we can't do anything after end the turn. But this turn, we should be able to get the kill, even if it's going to be painful. Yeah, we explode one more time, but we get the kill. This isn't super useful for us. We'll take another follow-up strike. We will upgrade. That upgrade is fine. This upgrade, if we're gonna, this makes this even more appealing to duplicate. Although we of course bled out all of our whatchamacallit to whatever procs. I don't even know that this fight is worth dealing with because it is going to be a major pain in the butt. But I want to see how it goes for this faster deck. Because we had a conversation about it and one day said that it was a fight that rewards slower decks. And I do not believe that is true. What am I even looking for? Oh, I'm looking for my buffs, of course. So ironically, we are going to kind of suffer here from not... Oh, this is a little bit awkward. That is very awkward. We were really counting on finding a strike. I guess we drew all the strikes out of our deck. So this is where things get awkward. We are going to try and freeze you. We're going to succeed at freezing you, more accurately. We have critical, so this we can guarantee we get crits out on this, which seems pretty good. Yeah, I think we're gonna pitch that. I mean, now I wish I had done it sooner, but yeah, curse is a problem, but we can make it through. Guess who's back? It's Pocket Blade. Alright. This is not very useful to us. I don't think we have any way to supply any of those. Blur of speed is fine. I may just cut the blur of speed immediately though, because we're not here for defending. We're just going to bleed out a bunch of health and it's going to be fine. I think that's the plan. It's actually very nice that we're just going to get to heal a bunch from whatever here. Absolutely going to upgrade that. Here comes Pocket Blade. Get to get more damage on our key cards. That was weird. And that was at 4154. Okay, I need to report that. Just kidding. I just realized as I was typing that probably it just had the shock effect from using up the shock, and I just thought it had done the thing. All right. Pocket Shiv is back. We do not have Frost Rune, which is annoying. Which is one of the things with spamming the Pocket Shiv, is that it can mean that we don't actually find cards. There's the Frost Rune, but we're not going to be able to afford it because we are super overdrawn on mana. But we can toughen up and just do that, which is totally fine. All right, it actually is nice that it heals us. And okay, we can draw Pocket Blade. And then we could try and draw into Frost Strike. Nope, there is no Frost Strike. Frost Strike is a lie. But it doesn't matter that Frost Strike is a lie, because we've got damage. It does matter that we don't have any space in our hand. Which meant that we couldn't get Pocket Blade. Wow, it is just determined not to give us Frost Strike, isn't it? Yeah, there it is, at the bottom of the deck. We're evading, theoretically. We're just going to hope that it works out. I should have just frozen, but evading worked out. The other thing is, like, because this is a fight where we just heal every time we draw extra cards. You still have Frost Rune, or we still have Shock Rune, because Shock Rune we can get. There we go. We would still like an Arcane. There we go. It might actually be worth it though, because the Mighty is nice, the Sturdy's, the Shield's okay. It's like, okay, but I think we want the Arcane Strike, because I think that gives us a lot of value. This we cannot take. That is terrible for us. This is bad. This is whatever. All right, we're up to the boss fight. Let's go. Bonk. One of the big advantages of this isn't even the actual arcane. It's just that it will ensure that we get to, I think, what do we pitch here? We have so much damage in our hand if we play it all out. I think we just pitch one of those, actually. And then we're going to copy this. We should actually generate a lot of mana here from just popping a lot of status effects. Yeah, so we don't kill this one, but we froze the front one, and that's pretty good. All right, we get more mana, which is nice. There's the Frost Strike, naturally it's at the bottom of the deck. We want to get as many strikes as we can before we start sharpening striking. Oh, I should have done that. All right, we can give opportunist out, we don't care. And there we go. This is pretty powerful. It does heal our enemies, but we don't care. I think we take that. I'll probably upgrade it. This is better. And then yeah, I think we upgrade this because it gives us more powerful. And yes, it gives powerful to our enemies, but it'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen? Don't be such a baby. Rip scroll back. And then we take event. I don't really want to go through one of these again though. It seems like it could be a recipe for disaster. And this drops cards we want. I could also go, I think I should go this way because I don't know that I care that much about those cards. And this way we get to take, we get to avoid some of the more annoying things. This fight could kill us or at least do severe damage, but counterpoint, it might not. Oh, I should see what else I can get. That's nice to see. I think we are going to copy this burst of strength. And then we are going to do a lot of damage. And then we're going to get tough. On crime. Shadow Bones are crime. That's my opinion. That is professional. Don't ask me what I'm a professional at. I just am. I think that's really all that I need to say, is that I am a professional. Womp. Alright, there's that. We can actually get this out. I am the most articulate. This should do... Oh man, that's going to get us a bunch of mana. Because Fermenting Gloves is good. And then we win. Okay. So far, so good. Hunter's Focus is what we're looking for. Rush in. Oh, we don't have the disruption cards, so we have to actually do this fight. That's unfortunate. I'm so used to having the stuff we need to not have to do that fight. So one nice thing here is we can just freeze everyone out and not care. Sure, you guys can have powerful. Whatever. Don't care. See what else we can find. Pitch that, I think. Give opportunity out. Don't care. Pitch Rallying Strike. Alright. I kind of want this Sharpening Strike. But I definitely also want to get that out. Having critical would be nice. Oh no, things are dying too quickly for us to get value out of this. What do we do? Yeah, and then we go on to this turn. Everything's fine. The arms race seems good. None of that does anything. We do have one more fight that we could actually take stuff from. And then this. The battlefield is mirrored, which is actually nice because that means that we can kill these things first. And they're the ones we want to kill first, I think. I think I want to do this. Yeah, I definitely want to do this. Just gonna draw us the pocket blade. Every time it's pocket blade. Goodbye. Guess what time it is? That's right, pocket blade time. Nice and clean. This could be very good. Yeah, that seems very good. Just burn our rests. Sure, temporary buff. Not the one we're healing on strike use. That's nice. We don't actually care that much, but we could cut cards, but I'm lazy. I think our deck's pretty good. None of that does anything. That's going to be irrelevant. You're going to get hit for a lot of damage in this fight, probably. One of our big annoyances is going to be that we don't have ways to get through Bailator's Purity very easily. So we're probably going to end up spending... This could be useful. It's probably more useful than the healing. We do have a couple other ways to heal. But yeah, we are probably going to take a bunch of damage on the first couple turns just to this jerk. Let's see what's on top of our deck. Nice. Okay. Plated in Mighty. Powerful this turn. More strikes. We would like to find... I mean, this is going to be good. So that actually gives us a pretty cheap way to get rid of this purity. Especially because of the whatever thing. In fact, we can do this. And pitch that, I think. See what we get. Nice. We do want to freeze you. We can do that now. And end the turn. So unfortunately, that was our cheap freeze, but that we had to spend on that because, of course, as you would expect, the whatchamacallit was hiding on the bottom of the deck. So yeah, you get shield occasionally, but it's a relatively small amount of shield considering everything else we're doing. So, and yeah, the frost is not a problem still. Did you guess that it's pocket blade time? Because it's not, we just win. Okay, so that was a turn 2 kill, I think. I had fun. We don't actually run any Inna strikes because they're bad here. But... And that was without finding an elemental strike or an elemental prowess. That was with just like doing it the hard way with a lightning strike, a frost strike, and an arcane strike. And it still got us through there. So we took damage in a couple fights, but not many. Very happy with that run. That's it for this time. I'll see you next time. Toodles.